Hello? Hello everybody. How y'all doing? I am still very sleepy.
G'day, mate.
Why does that keep breaking? I really gotta just get rid of it at this point. Or at least change it because, oh, it's not you, Orky.
Hello there.
There we go. Me wake it. Yeah, it's not your fault. It's apparently OBS doesn't like doing it anymore. Which is why I need to get assets for the new one. So, hi guys. Hello. Hello, Coaster. Hello, Dementium. Hello, Orky. Welcome on in. Assets. No. No. None of that. But all of it. So yeah, I'm Keish, Twitch's resident little shadow gremlin. But that's, no, even worse. And I'm here being tormented by my chat. All of them. And by all of them, I mean Orky! At least for the moment. Hi. We're doing something special today. We're going to be playing Gabriel Knight, the OG version. Because one, it's spooky month. And two, it's one of my favorite games of all time. And I think now's the time I'm going to swap the music to away from the 20th century edition and to its rightful chiptune PC edition. Which is very loud. Oops. Sorry about that. That should be better. Yeah, listen to those digital strings. Yeah. Good timing on that, too. So yeah, this is the game. It's old as fuck. Came out in the early 90s. It is from Sierra Interactive, which was one of my favorite game publishers at the time. Because they did some of the best point-and-clicks ever. Granted, a lot of it was Moon Logic at the time, especially with King's Quest and Quest for Glory. But Gabriel Knight is much more founded in more regular day logic. It's still got Moon Logic in it, don't get me wrong. But it's good Moon Logic. And it's still one of my favorite games ever. And there you can see, surrounding it, some of the art. Because it did originally come with, like, backstory, additional things in the box that were not included in the game. On the left, you see the cover of the comic that actually told the original backstory for the game. Which was, you know, an odd way of doing things, but you know what? It's fine. Gabriel Knight 3, cat hair mustache of the fathers. No. There is, in fact, a part 3. I have never played it. Because Sierra was not afraid of experimenting with technology as it was coming out. So Gabriel Knight came out at the tail end of their VGA game cycle. So that was Quest for Glory 4, Gabriel Knight, King's Quest 6. Like, all of those games came out at about the same time. And then they started transitioning to other things. Like, King's Quest 7 went for hand-drawn graphics, like animation cell style. Gabriel Knight 2 went full FMV mode. And then Gabriel Knight 3 went for full 3D. I don't know how well that one did, but Gabriel Knights 1 and 2 stand up even to this day. They are wonderful. And like I said, this is one of my favorite games ever. Oh. Volume? Hello? Did something happen? Hello? Okay, it's just DOSBox being a butt. People mostly remember 3 for the mustache puzzle. I bet. So this is Gabriel's nightmare that he has every night. And at the time, cutting edge graphics. Look at this shit. Oh my god, there's 3D. A rerun? How boring. Eh. You say boring, I say amazing. And now into the credits. Yay! No, I meant his dream is a rerun every night. Yeah, it's not so much boring whenever it's, you know, you watching your ancestors get murdered for their mistakes. And cursing your entire family line. But you don't know that yet. It's great. It's wonderful. I love it. And so, a little history lesson. A lot of the game's themes and such are with regards to like the supernatural and shit, and they are like composed of a lot of folklore stuff. It doesn't play too much in this game because this game is like, oh, you're being introduced to Gabriel and his family and his woes in the spirit of the voodoo murders, which have gripped New Orleans. And this was made in a time where Sierra was trying to push the idea that games were for adults as much as they were for kids. So this was a big departure from the King's Quest and Quest for Glories and Space Quest and all that, which had very, what's the word? Cartoony feels to them. Like, King's Quest was all about, like, do pay attention to those names right there. I thought I had more time before this. Oh no, I missed the reveal that Tim Curry's the main voice actor. Look at all these big names. So yeah, Tim Curry, Mark Hamill, they're both in this game. Did I see Worf? You did indeed see Worf. Jim Cummings, the best voice actor ever. And hi, Lost Ark. Welcome on in, buddy. But yeah, the game is entirely voice acted. So, when the game originally came out, wow, Orky, really? In the middle of my intro? Day 1. I dreamt of blood upon the shore, of eyes that spoke of sin. The lake was smooth and deep and black, as was her scented skin. It's not new, Orky. It's been there for weeks. I'll slap you. And now we get into it.
It lives, I see. Do you want to speak with Lolita?
Oh, can I turn on? Oh boy. Here we go. Oh no. Mouse. Mouse, please. Thank you. Text on. Give me subtitles.
Sorry, but Gabriel is allowed. Oh, I mean, he's out. Yeah, if he ever comes back, I'll tell him. You know, you could do better. I know I don't know you, but you could do better. Good morning. The phone's been ringing off the hook all morning.
It was kind of lame. How dare you? That's because you don't understand Pokemon.
Gee, you're lively. Did you have another nightmare last night?
Sort of.
Mm-hmm. I told
Tim
you
Curry.
It's that voodoo book you're researching. That stuff can seriously screw up your karma.
I'm sure that's it. Maybe I should write a horror novel on passive resistance instead.
Yeah.
So don't sleep. It's your body. Anyway, your handheld tape recorder came today.
Really? Great.
Yes, he did literally just pour out a coffee on the floor.
I can't wait to see what human rights you violate with this one.
I can't wait to violate them. For example, if you would just let me...
And I located some local voodoo references for you. Dixieland Drugstore and the Historical Museum of Voodoo. Both are right here in French Quarter.
How would I ever
How convenient.
manage without you?
You? Give me a break. The devil himself couldn't change you.
Well, if the devil had great legs, perhaps, like yours.
And a riveting personality, I'm sure.
I love the
If you need
banter.
any more
It's so
research
well
done,
written.
just ask. It's not as though we're swamped with customers.
Okay. So we are now in the game. Ooh, I gotta get used to the mouse controls. So yeah, this is Gabriel Knight. He's a writer and owner of a, you know, kind of a bookstore of sorts. This is Grace. She's the receptionist / his assistant who helps out on stuff. Yeah, now you're caught up to date.
Times Picayune, dated June 18,
And that's the narrator.
1993. The front page has an article about the
Also,
voodoo
all the
murders.
Babsorki. You deserve them.
The article says that the victims are all identified as members of the underworld.
The
The
underworld.
general public of New Orleans is in no danger. Police claim the so
'Cause you deserve it, Orky.
trappings found at the crime scenes are fake, a scare tactic, and that the murders are not associated
hey,
with
buddy.
any
What's
genuine
up?
practitioners. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day.
The worst.
Potential storms ahead. Proceed with caution and do not get involved with anything new at this time.
Right.
Hey! We got a point for reading the paper. I wonder why. Okay, so there's a few things that we need to pick up. One, these tweezers.
I'm gonna take the tweezers for a bit.
Good. You're beginning to look a little scruffy.
Just trying to make you feel at home.
And the next is this magnifying
Mind
glass.
if I borrow the magnifying glass?
No, Sherlock. Just bring it back when we get the next estate shipment.
No problem.
My boy, what the matter? What the matter? Your face itchy again. Here. That's all I can do for you right now. And there's a few other things that we need to pick up here. But we can also explore just a little bit. So first,
Wishful thinking.
let me
That
in.
doesn't work.
Oh god, what was the button?
It's certainly light enough, but rather useless, as Gabriel well knows. It's
No. Okay, we're gonna talk then. I will now question Grace. I might have to speed up the game just a little.
What's up?
And now we have the dialogue trees. Yay!
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I didn't know much of anything about it until you started researching it for your book. Now I know that it's active in the city. There's that shop and museum. It can clearly be dangerous in the wrong hands. You should be careful investigating it.
So, fun fact about the game. Have we tried beat cutscenes? No, I'm not doing a speed run. I am playing at my own pace, Coaster. And besides, I want to show y'all the game. I don't want to skip it. So, fun fact: when the game originally shipped, some of the OG version did not, in fact, have voice acting. The voice acting was added later, and it expanded the game and made it so much more immersive. Like, there were two versions of it. And then came the CDE version for Windows, and that had all the bells and whistles. It had some adjustments to the graphics, which is what we currently have with this version, which is the surviving version. Which makes me a little sad because I prefer the intro scene on the OG version. But, you know, it's what we can get on, 20 floppy disks or whatever.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Well, I've only been here 2 months, but I love it. It's so much more alive than any place I've been. It feels like anything's possible here.
Tell me about the
What do you know
murders.
about the voodoo murders?
Just what I read in the paper, same as you.
Hi, Mushi. How are you?
Tell me about yourself, Grace.
Yeah, right, Knight.
I mean it.
What do you want to know?
Oh, how dare.
How come we haven't gone out?
And now we get to the personal
I'm
questions.
still waiting around for that lobotomy. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know.
How do you like working at St. George's Book?
Tired as usual. Well, I hope
it's
you
not exactly
wake up a bit.
Huge intellectual challenge.
Get some rest.
Although the man
Relax.
with the record books could confuse Einstein. Still, I love old books, and it's a nice way to pay the bills while I explore the city for a summer. If you ever pay me, that is.
What do you do?
Oh
after
no,
work?
I'm not paying her.
Well,
How
I either
terrible.
go to my oil painting class or my Tai Chi. You know that.
You know, you can go overboard with this improving yourself stuff. You don't want to alienate us mere mortals.
She's
I
awesome.
suppose I should just allow my mind and body to atrophy.
Works for me. How old are you?
Old enough to know about men like you.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Really, Mushi? Really? You're tired and you wanna flirt? Okay. Okay. Let me just I'll tab out of here. Ahem. Well, hi there, Mushi. I can see you're tired. You know, you pulled up a chair and sat down, taking a load off here in street. I just want to say, aren't you just wonderful? You're amazing. Oh, come on. There you go. KeeshPlay's Riz of the Fathers. It's not the same. Tell me
Tell
anything.
me anything at all.
I just got my master's in history and classics.
Give me your
My
backstory.
folks wanted me to go on right away for my PhD, but 18 years of school was enough. I needed a break.
That's right, she's smart.
Nothing, I guess. Never mind.
Suit yourself.
Do you have messages for me?
Dana called, and Susie left a message about a lawsuit.
Carson.
Okie dokie. There's more when you want them.
More
You have
messages.
More messages for me?
Your grandmother called.
I keep meaning to get over there. What did she say? Did she sound good?
She sounded great, and we had a nice little chat about you.
Grace.
Don't worry. I didn't go into detail about your cardinal sins. Not that anything about you could surprise her. She adores you anyway.
She's my girl.
But she said to remind you to stop by and go through your father's things.
Okay.
I'm realizing your model looks distantly related to my Halloween avatar model persona. I'm gonna have to take your word for that, because I'm just a wonderful little shadow gremlin guy.
Do you have more messages for me?
Here's a strange one. You got a call from someone named Wolfgang Ritter. He said he was calling from Germany. He told me it was urgent, maybe you should give him a call.
Call Germany. Like hell. If it's really important, he'll call back.
Well, fine.
Fine thinking.
Let's just hope he's not with the German lottery for pitiful American authors.
Do you have more messages for me?
Your friend Detective Mosley called. Talkative, isn't he?
Yeah.
Especially with you. What do you want?
He left an interesting message. He told me to tell you that his mother's maiden name is Humphrey. Oh, that's Humprey.
Fascinating.
And that he left some photos for you at the station. At the front desk.
It's about time.
Gabriel. Those photos wouldn't
Of
have
course
anything to do
not.
with the voodoo murders, would they?
Not at all.
Now, why would you say something like that?
Because I know you. You're getting privileged information, aren't you?
Yeah.
Did you tell him you'd put him in your new voodoo book?
A writer has certain obligation to his readers, you know.
Gabriel, you know you'll never put him in your book. Your main character is a female orthodontist. You're gonna be reincarnated as a pit bull if you keep screwing with your karma.
As long as it's a male pit bull with a really big...
That's enough. Thanks. Anyway, that's all the messages. Thank God.
Thank you, Tim Curry, for reading out that line perfectly.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
Oh, nothing yet.
I can't...
Okay.
Okay, can now open. Oh, that's the one.
Gabriel opens the cash register to examine the take. Or, in the case of St. George's books,
The mistake. I want to take it all. But I know I can only take this.
You can live without this old gift certificate.
Knock yourself out.
I can't take all the money, but I can take the gift certificate. Now, if I remember right, there's some stuff we need in here. So this is his first floor bedroom, directly off from the bookstore.
I might need a flashlight.
You know what? I should just look around.
Gabriel's bedroom is also his office, his studio, and library.
There you go.
It's Gabriel's bed, unmade as usual. Jeans and t-shirts.
Yep, good.
Jeans. Gabriel's robe hangs on the wall. It's a bit hot for it in June, though. Gabriel's bedroom, a little cold bubbly, and brie cheese is about all Gabriel's fridge ever has in it. Bills from last Christmas gather dust on the door. The medicine cabinet contains a few old prescriptions, personal hygiene stuff, and lots of hair
products. He needs them.
Including some hair gel.
Oh, look, it's a hint. Maybe we need that hair gel.
I'll take this hair gel. You never know when you'll need a touch-up.
Gabriel might as well leave that here.
I meant that.
The typewriter is beginning to accumulate cobwebs.
Hi,
feel
Proxy.
guilty?
Welcome in.
Nah.
Several dozen books, including a few of Gabriel's novels, occupy the shelves above his desk.
Thank you for the head pads.
At Giant Discount Bookstore, we discount every title 50%. When you see our selection prices, you will never want to shop with those little guys again.
Putting me out of business. Ugh. Okay, I think that's the things we need from here. And because I can.
Don't mind if I do.
Do what?
Oh, nothing.
3 snakes in a skull. Gabriel's father painted it.
What a wacky, offbeat kind of guy Daddy was.
Grace keeps her art supplies here.
Oh, it's almost like they'll be useful later.
The books on the desk all need repair work. The top shelf contains a set of German books that once belonged to Gabriel's grandfather. That shelf holds used copies of the
All the
Diamond
books.
Stripes series, secrets of unsolved ancient UFO mysteries, and such. They
And
just
such.
leak out the door. That shelf holds used copies.
Oh.
That shelf.
Nope.
That shelf contains historical references, biographies of kings and queens, that sort of thing.
Today's laundry day? Well, I hope you enjoy cleaning everything's.
Under the window are reference books, dictionaries, foreign language dictionaries, quotation books, and others. Gabriel borrows them often when he's writing.
Yeah. It's fine, I'm sure.
The books can...
No, books cannot be operated. The one problem with the game? So many action buttons.
Gabriel leafs through a German-English dictionary.
Let's see, Mittag means midday, noon.
Gabriel leafs through a...
Spiel means game. Interesting.
Which we all know these
Gabriel leafs
days.
through a German-English dictionary.
Himmel means heaven. Uh-huh.
Sometimes I wish I had an assistant or maid to help me out during the week. Look, don't we all?
Gabriel leafs through...
Dry means 3. Besessen means possessed.
Gabriel...
Drachen means dragons. I wonder if Mosley would know he was being insulted if I called him Drachenbread.
Probably.
Gabriel selects a volume of German poetry.
But yeah, we'd all
that
love an
he
assistant.
always found strangely
It's just a matter of, you know,
Drei
affording the
Drachen.
one.
Drei Drachen kriechen in meinen Schlaf. Die Ziele wollen sie lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
Glorious Tim Curry voice.
Who's the author?
Heinz Ritter. I'm not sure what it says, but I get the feeling the guy was one sick puppy.
Oh, hey, it's Ritter, like the guy who left a message. I wonder if those will become connected.
That doesn't...
Oh, I want to leave.
I'll be back later.
Don't hurry back on my account.
It's time to go explore. So we are here at St. George's Bookshop. We can go to the Dixieland Drugstore, the Historical Voodoo Museum, Napoleon House, the police station, St. Louis Cathedral, Jackson Square, or the Jackson Square Overlook, or to Grandma's house outside of the French Quarter. We're gonna go there. FMV.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give us a kiss. Now come and sit down. Tell me how you're doing.
I'm investigating the Moiters. Oh, I can talk to her now. Do I have anything to show her? No. Hey.
Can
Question.
we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
She's so pretty.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? What an odd question, Gabriel. Of course,
I mean,
you
not from
were
me.
interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear about it so much these days. Too much else in the world to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, but voodoo's so cool. But what do you know about murders?
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes wonder what this world is coming to.
A great place, obviously.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is very southern. Of course, though, not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
That California stuff, eh?
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Oh, surely you have something more interesting to talk about.
No, this is a point-and-click game. Tell me everything.
All right, dear. What do you want to hear?
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden? I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
Which I need
You
to
are
do
not
more of
old.
myself.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
So am I, lady.
Tell
So
me
am
about
I.
Before you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. We grew peas, corn, cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim.
Big
I
fella.
even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend Alma, and at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fire and brimstone annex, and a piece of it,
Fire and brimstone,
small add-on dues for man, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. It was then I knew that he was for me.
Aw, how sweet. They bonded over a man's toupee.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Just
Tell me everything.
at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Just tell me anything at all.
I never loved any man but your grandfather, and I never will.
Aw.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddad and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies, whether he wanted to or not.
Oh, nothing, never mind.
All right, dear.
Tell me about my family.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
So many options.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Recently donated about 10 books on several different IT topics. I hope whoever gets them can start a new career or learn a new skill. Well, either that or they're going to have a wonderful heavy book stop. Because I personally believe donating books is far better than throwing them away. Well, yeah. Libraries love that shit. Though most libraries now will only take books that have been purchased or printed within the last 5 years. Just to make sure that they are, in fact, A, in demand, B, up to date, and C, in good condition.
Tell me something.
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. I'll tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. The nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he'd lost another. And I would tell him it didn't matter to me. But he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Aw.
Tell me something.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. Took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
I know you are, dear.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was! He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift. But he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
Up to date, in demand, and in good condition. Are we talking about books or quiche? Both, obviously. Luckily, they were all about 40 years old, so I think I made it time. I think you did. Though, given its IT and technology, they're probably all out of date by like 12 years already.
Tell me something about
I don't know what else to tell you, dear.
Tell
Everything.
me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him. Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. They were
And
two
me.
peas in a pod.
Tell me about my father.
When Philip met your mother, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then. And he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Tell me about
No, Grad, we can't talk about that.
Wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road or a wild cat.
Are we seeing a trend, guys?
Tell me about my father.
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that part. He pushed Philip to go to law school. Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked.
Nice proxy. Nice.
Tell me about my father.
He always hated it that it was Margaret's money that supported the three of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or two. But he couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
Yeah, just like the skull and snakes picture in Gabriel's office.
Tell me about my father.
I don't know what else to tell you, dear.
So I used to write yaoi boy love fanfics at one point. Oh no.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked defying her family. Since you're so interested in family history these days,
There it
you
is.
go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb. It would be a sweet gesture.
Maybe I will.
Young adolescent me. I'm innocent. Yeah,
Tell
I'm
me
sure.
about my father.
Oh, wrong one.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage. All she had left was a modest trust fund from a great aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of
Modest.
the trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop.
Tell me about my mother.
Thank you for that
The
exposition.
Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. They never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
Tell me about my mother.
I don't know what else to tell you, dear.
They're just gone. Compliment.
You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
You.
Always can't compliment your grannies while you still have them. We're gonna go up.
I'm going to go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
We gotta go through our daddy's belongings.
I think I'll take Daddy's sketchbook with me.
We got a book. What else?
That box of knickknacks has been up there for at least 5 years. The old trunk looked like it's gone to hell and back. An elaborate mechanical clock, probably of German origin.
Oh, German again,
is
huh?
among the discarded treasures of the attic. It doesn't seem to be running at the moment.
Ah, our first puzzle. It's a clock. It's got a time on it. It's got a dragon, a sword, a sun, a something I can never describe. I think that's a key. And then eclipse.
The ring of symbols does not appear to have any mechanical function, but it does move.
Oh, it moves, does it? But luckily for us, we know that Granddaddy who was German, also wrote poetry about 3 dragons. Whee! And then...
Granddaddy, you old fox.
I'm trying to figure out the voice of the narrator and what accent it is. The accent is Creole. Creole. The actress, I cannot remember her name. And now we got stuff. Let's go see what we got. Boop.
The old photograph showed Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified.
And boop.
The letter is addressed to Heinz Ritter, whoever that is. Gabriel looks fondly at his father's sketchbook and charcoal pencil.
Open.
Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious.
It's almost like his entire family line has been cursed. I wonder why. So here we have some very important imagery that comes, that will show up more and more. The tiger, the 3 snakes, the amulet, the lion, 3 snakes again, the wheel within a wheel, and the 3 circles. Or 3 rings, rather, which are also up here.
Images
Now we read...
The letter is written in German.
Oh, that's right.
But Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the reoccurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tipped bold strokes and underlining.
And now we've unlocked another word, another or special thing. What could a Schattenjäger be? Move you. And open the trunk. I don't remember what's in here.
The trunk doesn't operate.
I don't think there's anything in that trunk that would interest anybody but my gran.
Isn't there? I thought there was.
Some old clothes, including a pair of leather shorts.
Aren't those called lederhosen?
Serious hiking boots. More of Harrison Knight German book.
Just what I need.
And a bundle of letters. Love letters between Harrison and Rebecca.
Suddenly.
I don't think there's anything in...
No, let me take the letters. No, I'm sure I need the letters.
The trunk.
It looks pretty heavy. Anybody here? Guess not. Anybody? Guess.
I was sure I was...
The trunk.
I don't think... I don't...
Guess not. Sit.
Gab.
No, I don't want it. I want to sit.
That's it. Take a load off, huh?
Yeah. Show you the letter.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
No, dear. I'm afraid I don't speak a word of German.
But your husband was German. You never learned your husband's language? How terrible.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
one in the middle is your grandfather. Those other two I don't know.
Book?
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
I believe that was your father's, Gabriel. You keep it.
And now we ask more
Can we
questions.
talk, Gran?
Of course.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Schottenjäger? Schottenjäger? How odd, Gabriel. I haven't heard that word in years.
Yes.
Goodness, you've given me a chill. Your granddad used to say that sometimes in his sleep.
Really? Do you know what it means?
No, I'm afraid not. I asked him about it once. I don't think he answered me. Odd.
Thanks,
Gee,
Gran.
I wonder why.
Do
Heinz
you know
Ritter.
anyone named Heinz Ritter?
Heinz Ritter. Oh,
Wonderful catch-up.
where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
I promised I'd never tell you or your father. But I suppose it doesn't matter now.
Tell me, Gran.
Tell
Your
me.
Granddad's name was Heinz Ritter before he came to America. He changed it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Why did Granddad change his name?
Thank you, Mushi.
I tried to ask him about his family, his life before America, but he didn't want to talk about it. Never even told me about his name change. I found out one
Hydration
day
complete.
I saw his passport in a drawer. Since he obviously found it painful, I never questioned him about it. But I'm sure there was trouble with the law. Granddad was the best man I ever knew.
Didn't Granddad ever say anything about his past or his family?
Only that his family was crazy, and that he never wanted to see them again. He believed in some family curse. Thought that he could
There
spare
it is.
Philip and Philip's children from what he called old nightmares. Whatever Harrison wanted to spare you, though, it cost him plenty. He never did sleep well, and he would often get a faraway, guilty look in his eyes. He was wrestling with something he thought he should be doing, someplace he thought he ought to be. I don't know how he could think that he should be anywhere but with me and our child. It's a terrible way to live.
Ah.
Do you know anything else about Heinz Ritter?
I've told you all I know about your granddad's past.
Ah. Story holes.
You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
Oh, you. Okay, I think that's everything we need from here.
Well, Gran, I better get going.
All right, dear.
Ah, I love the animation. They don't make pixel games like these anymore. Alright, so next... Let's go to the drugstore. Oh, excuse me. To one of the other best musics in the game. Ah.
The containers on this shelf all say magnetic sand. Draw good luck and prosperity.
I should probably buy 50 pounds or so for the bookstore.
Supposed to be.
So this is a voodoo supply
When
store.
you use Papa Legba's power drawing incense and master power oil. Buy some today. The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head. It's a mannequin wearing a crocodile mask. The glass jars contain a number of things Gabriel can't identify.
And wouldn't want to.
Ah, fourth wall breaks. Love it.
Lodestone powder. 5-finger grass. Something tells me I'm not in Kansas anymore.
The proprietor doesn't look especially friendly. His business probably doesn't depend on walk-ins. The dust on those boxes is older than Gabriel. The sign says,
Here we go.
Special Saint Jean Eve, Lanyapin, free bottle of lover come back to me oil, or master gambling oil, with every purchase over $50.
Lagniappe. My French is lousy, but everyone in New Orleans knows what that means. A little something extra.
Just a whittle extra. I'm gonna just adjust this down a little bit, just so that the voice is a little more less drowned out sometimes. I'm gonna question you.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask what you want. I'll answer what I want.
Tell me about
Can you tell
voodoo.
me what you know about voodoo?
This is a novelty shop, monsieur.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Cabriz Sancour.
What did you say?
Nothing. Those killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
Oh look, unlocked a new word.
What did you mean when you said Cabriz Sancour?
I didn't say that.
You did. I heard you say it.
You heard wrong, monsieur. I said no such thing.
Gee, I wonder why.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Monsieur, that has nothing to do with my shop.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I've lived here all my life, me.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I'm a busy man, monsieur. I don't get out of my neighborhood much.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
It's the biggest night of the year in voodoo.
What goes on exactly?
I couldn't say.
Tell
What's the
me.
significance of St. John's Eve?
I've said all I'm going to say about it.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Man, I don't even know what language that is.
Tell me about yourself.
My name
I got a
is
big
Willie
dick.
Walker. I
Wow.
own the place.
I'm sure he does.
Tell me about yourself.
How did you get into this kind of business?
Why should I discuss my business with you, man?
Tell me about yourself.
How did you get in?
Why should I?
Now we're just looping. I don't think there's anything else to ask him yet.
Does this mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that at all.
Okay, so nothing here yet. Except for that. To the Historical Voodoo Museum next. And good tunes.
Hi. Look around all you want.
Okay, thanks.
Time to look.
A street drama has settled outside the museum. There's a beaten up old fan in the window. It's silent at the moment. The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as an artist's rendering of the voodoo dances in Congo Square in the early 1800s.
Very early.
The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as a bandana that was once worn by a voodoo queen.
Nice bloodstains.
The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as an anatomically correct voodoo doll with pins strategically placed.
Now, why does that remind me of Grace?
Strategically.
A striking portrait of a turbaned woman is on the back wall. Gabriel wonders who she might be. A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. She looks thrilled to be here. An authentic-looking pole marks the center of the room. Authentic what? Gabriel isn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
An official voodoo wish and stomp. Rub it and make a wish, a card said.
Funny, I say the same thing to women.
Ah, got him.
He's got more hair than Mosley. Reminds me of a book critic for the New York Times.
On the table is a small coffin. So small, in fact, that it would only fit an infant.
Charming.
I think...
This coffin is so small. Interesting.
Cute, isn't it?
Adorable. Do you know anything about it?
Afraid not.
Ma'am, you're so good at your job of being in a museum.
I wish Grace were as hot as she looks.
All right. Question time.
Could I ask you a few questions?
I wouldn't be much help.
Aw.
You should talk to Dr. John, the owner. He'll be back tomorrow.
I see. Thank you.
And one last thing, I believe. Boop.
What is this switch?
Hey, turn that off.
I didn't mean it.
Dr. John told me never turn on that fan.
I can see why.
It drives the snake nuts. That'll be important for later, I'm sure.
I'll be gone now, thanks.
So long.
All right, off to the police station. We got a friend to talk to. Ba-da-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Me? Nothing. I'm a Catholic boy.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I'm not allowed to give out information on police cases.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I'll tell you, I'm glad as hell it's not Mardi Gras. If it weren't for that 1 month a year, being a cop in New Orleans would be a real pleasure. As it is, I'd rather stick behind this desk.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
Bunch
Come
of
on, tell me,
crazies out
Copper.
there on St. John's Eve, that's what. We're busy all night.
Really? What kind of crazies?
Your usual howl at the mooners, I guess. They don't look no weirder than them that comes in during Mardi Gras. Never can tell, though.
What can you tell me?
I already told you. It's a busy night for us, pal. You want a history lesson?
Pal.
Go read a book.
Do you know what Caprice encore means?
Can't say that I do.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Can't say that I have, but it sounds dirty.
Tell me about yourself.
Who, me? I'm the Desk Sergeant Frick. Why?
Frick?
That's right. You got a problem with that?
Frickin' hell I
Not
do.
at all. I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's out of the crime scene. Sorry.
He's out. Oh no.
Where is the crime scene? Is it related to the voodoo murders?
Crime scene information is police confidential. We don't need any more looky-loos than are probably already there.
Aw.
I was supposed to pick up some photos from Detective Mosley at the front desk.
Is that right? And who are you?
My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Yeah. I got something for you, all right. As soon as you're done talking, I'll give it to you.
Oh, I hope you give it to me all right.
Here's that envelope for you, Gabriel Knight.
Thanks.
Now, I don't remember if I have to stick around for a specific scene to happen.
Hey, nice precinct.
Think so? That's peachy. That means more to me than you could know. Hey.
Yeah, there it is.
Guy.
Great, I'm starved.
That's right. It's donut time for the coppers. Ba-ba-da.
Stay put, you. Hey, grab me 3, would ya?
Sure.
This will be important to know for later.
Thanks.
Ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba.
Talking.
Oh, wrong button. Oh no. So we gotta go find our friend Mosley, but how could we ever find him? We're just gonna have to look around now, won't we? Oh hey, there's a cop right here. I wonder if he could help us.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Not now, buddy. I'm busy.
I should have noticed that. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
If only we had a guide open another window. No, I don't need a guide to Mintio. I love this game. I played it so much. I play it yearly.
Gabriel cannot interrogate.
Could I ask you?
Not now, buddy. I'm busy.
I
I'm
should have
busy.
noticed that. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
Homicide team attend.
Oh hey! I wonder if we could somehow use his radio, but he won't leave his car. What could we do? That's right. Read up. There we go. Keish's brain is the other window. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Now what's this?
Well, I never. Leave me alone, you man.
Oh hey, it's a mime. Everybody loves mimes, right? Hello. Come with me. Just follow me. I'm not gonna yell at you like the other people. Yep. Come on. There we go. Come down here. There we go.
Hey, cut that out. I told you to stop that. All right,
It's
mister,
always
you want some of
proper
this?
to make fun of the police.
Gabriel picks up the headset and listens.
Ambulance 911, have you located the crime scene? They've radioed for you 3 times.
Damn! Did you say it was north of the Lake Retreat Country Club?
South, Lakeside Drive north of Piedmont Pier, south of the country club.
Man, I don't know if it's the clouds out here today or what. Good thing this guy's already dead.
Everyone's having trouble. Must have been hallucinogens in the coffee this morning.
It's just so misty out here or something. Hey, I see a squad car. Got it, Molly.
Thank God. Have a good one, 911.
Interesting.
Stupid mime.
It's okay. It's proper to hate mimes as well.
Sorry.
It's fine. I got what I want. What I needed. Come on, up.
Homicide team attend.
Hello, drummer.
The drummer is busy. There's no one to talk to. The drummer is...
Won't let me talk to him. That's fine. Exit. Let me leave the park! Oh, that's right. That directly goes into the church. Oh, wait. I think I need something from here. Whee! Open. To the back room. Hello.
A freshly starched black priest's shirt stands out against the white robes in the closet.
Oh, how lucky for us.
I can't resist black.
And I don't remember if there's anything else we need here.
The closet shelves are stocked with the odds and ends of a saintly life. In other words, nothing Gabriel is familiar.
I think we needed something else, but I don't remember where we get it.
Nothing on that shelf Gabriel isn't interested in. Gabriel?
No. From one of the other rooms? Question mark? Thank you for the hydrate redeem.
The panel.
May I help you, my child?
Can I ask you a few questions?
The confessional is not the best place for interviews, son. You can contact the parish offices if you need private counseling.
I understand. Thanks, Father.
Is there anything else?
Could you give me a blessing?
Do you feel the need for a blessing, son?
Always.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
All right, if it will comfort you.
The priest blesses Gabriel through the confessional window.
Peace be with you, son.
Thank you, Father.
Well, I have sinned. Oh, so much sin. There's just sin all over the place. I like how the music cuts out every once in a while. So it's Sin City, is it? I mean, it is New Orleans. Napoleon House. Hello, my good man. I have some questions for you.
A few questions.
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? I don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
What do you
Tell
know
me about them.
the voodoo murders?
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Greatest city in the world. I'd never want to live anywhere else.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
All I know is it's some kind of voodoo holiday.
Ah, now
Does
we're
the
getting
phrase
closer.
Caprice encore mean anything to you?
You know what goes in it?
I don't think it's a drink.
Oh, then I probably don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Never heard of it.
Tell me about yourself.
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
Boo.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
This crowd, the ones you see, are mostly regulars. That guy and girl in the corner come here a lot. When they're not fighting, they're all over each other. In other words, they're in love.
Love?
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They played every day for 20 years. Sam, The one with the purple jacket? He's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him beat guys twice as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and stuff.
Really? Thanks.
Yeah!
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
I'd call you a regular, Gabe. And one of our local writer celebrities, too.
I'm
Been
famous!
coming in here,
Yay!
what, 10 years now?
Don't remind me.
We're still waiting for that bestseller.
Don't hold your breath. What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
That's about all I can say about this crowd.
Now, your regulars are 5 people. You're not doing good as a bar.
Tell me about the street musicians around here.
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say, enough already.
Sounds like my life.
Yeah, I feel that.
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodooine and had her make him a love charm. It was a little
Love
pouch
potions.
that he had to bury under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day, he went up and talked to the girl. And, sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife. Poor guy.
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
That's about all I can remember.
So not much.
Excuse me. I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
What game? This isn't a game. It's a slaughter.
He's right, you know, so let me die in peace, would you?
Alright, so, couple?
A young woman is enjoying drinks with her boyfriend.
Kinda cute.
Nah.
A young man is deep into conversation with his girlfriend and feeling no pain.
Mm-hmm.
A sharp-eyed gentleman in a gray sports coat hunches over a chessboard, chuckling to himself. The antique
No, not the
bar-
stool.
A man in a loud tie stares morosely at a chessboard.
Morosely is another word for I'm losing again. God damn it.
An unhappy-looking man explores the dangers of drinking alone.
I feel that.
A street drummer has found
Stop
a
laughing, you.
outside the Napoleon House.
Okay, now I believe now we have the clue for love potion and gree and all that, so we can go back here.
Hi. Uh-huh.
I have questions
Can
for
I
you.
ask you just...
Oh, maybe not. Oh, it might be next day once I get more info on the voodoo stuff as well. All right, next place, the cemetery. Every time you get a clue chime, I keep hearing the more you know. Good.
Excuse me, sir?
You got something to say, son?
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
Ah, gorgeous voice.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you tell me?
I don't really care.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Ain't it just awful, them finding those bodies with voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody's trying to cover their tracks is all.
oh no, you know, how dare they try to cover up a murder that is very obviously a murder.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Seem like everybody want to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives.
I mean, not
They
wrong.
love the cemetery too. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
Not gonna lie, I would love to visit New Orleans at least once.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
There's lots of things to see here, but none are as beautiful as the St. Louis Cemetery number 1.
Tell me about the
Tell me
cemetery.
something about St. Louis Cemetery number 1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins would float right out of their graves. Them dead would go floating right down into the water. Course, if it was Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice.
Ha!
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Why, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo.
Yay, voodoo!
Sometimes we get
More
some
voodoo.
weird goings on in that cemetery on that night. More often a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and more.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do with them, but it can't be pretty.
Do you have any idea what
Gotta go through the list.
Sankar means?
No, can't say that I do.
Have you ever heard the word?
Schattenjäger.
I don't know what you talking about.
Okay, fine. Tell me about yourself then.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis number 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, cause
He's a
but
gardener.
big part of my job too is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief bound they don't know what they doing.
You have a shot of Aaron Yeager? Please, no.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
But what could this possibly be?
The marks are reddish in color and reminds Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here a few days at least.
Oh ho ho! Let's make a note of that, shall we?
Of these strange marks.
And red? Could that be this? But what is it?
It's a piece of brick.
Oh, well. That answers that now, doesn't it? Actually, oh, where's it? Boop. Hey, what's
Does
this?
this mean anything to you?
Oh, I see them marks all the time.
Ah! Hi, Dermot. Hi, buddy. I see you there, being a pest. Look, telepathy. The telepathy's in your. The ball's in your court.
The Wright family tomb.
There we go.
Several of Gabriel and Grant's family
Telepathy.
members are laid to rest here. The
Telepathy,
marker
then.
reads, Franklin Wright.
These are Grand's folks. I never knew 'em.
The marker reads Mera Planta Wright.
These are Grand's folks.
This is a low resolution game. Yes, Dermot. It is a game from 1994.
The marker reads Harrison Knight.
Granddaddy.
The marker reads Harley Wright.
Grand's sister. She died young.
The marker reads Philip Knight.
Daddy.
The marker reads Margaret Templeton Knight.
My mother.
Maybe update your video card. Yeah, I don't think that's going to help. And this will be more important later.
The imposing tomb is elaborately labeled Gede. An angel draped dramatically over a stone plinth marks the entrance to a lie.
Did it have any ray tracing or Unreal Engine 5 back then? No, it was Unreal Engine -3. Alright, no, we cannot escape this area from this side. We gotta go all the way back. The classic point and click adventure mechanic. Goodbye, Michael Mann. To the map. To the crime scene.
The crime scene team is still at the site. Gabriel parks a bit out of the way and walks over to avoid adding to the general confusion.
I'm just gonna cross this line.
Hey, mostly.
They were just too cheap for those back at the time. Boo.
Night, you wiener. I told you not to call me that.
Mark Hamill!
Who, me? Don't be stupid. How'd you find me?
Oh, I was just driving by.
Uh-huh. Well, for the book. But don't tell anyone I let you see this, huh?
Had a minor to moderate panic attack. Oh, I hope you recover, Dermot.
It's another one. As you can see, same MO and no frickin' clues. We're still waiting on an ID for the body.
That's disgusting. Isn't this a rather, public area for this kind of thing?
Yeah, they're frickin' ghosts, these guys. Lakeshore Drive isn't exactly the 10 expressway, but it is open to the public. No reports and nothing. Now, who the hell is that?
Cutscene! Oh, a beautiful lady.
Good day, Miss Getty.
What's going on, officer?
Detective Mosley, ma'am. We've got a little problem here, but nothing for you to be concerned about, Miss Getty.
I see. Thank you, detective. And good day, gentlemen.
Whoa, I'm in love.
Forget it. That's Malia Getty. She's about as far out of your reach as the moon. Probably on her way to meet some guy with a yacht right now.
Near here?
The lake's a popular place for country clubs.
If she's out here a lot, maybe she saw something or heard something.
Man, nobody ever sees or hears nothing.
This beautiful lady might know something. I must speak with her.
Don't bothering people like her.
Says you.
We've about wrapped it up, sir. It's another clean sweep.
Yeah, let's get the meat wagon moving then.
Do you want to leave an officer here, sir?
Nah, just leave the tape up for a few days.
Yes, sir. If you'll excuse us, sir, we'll take him away.
I'd take a drink, but I'd be awake for your
Stick
streams.
around,
Aww.
take notes for the book if you want. Watch out for the muck in the water moccasins, though. I'll be back at the station. Stop by if you want to go over the case some more.
Thanks.
That's right, everybody. Get out. I've got to do my own investigation.
Out down the spot. Will these pristine banks ne'er be cleaned again? There seems to be a pattern to the lines in the sand.
Oh,
If
really?
there is a pattern, it's smeared. There's only one small area that's clearly defined.
If only I had something to make a note of this.
Let me try to get this down.
What else do we have?
Patches of grass have managed to survive life on the banks of Lake Pontchartrain.
Oh.
The grass has a matted appearance there.
Oh, but it's so matted. Maybe I need a magnifying glass to see.
There are marks in the grass as though some heavy wire object had been set there.
But what could this be?
Gabriel is already magnifying that.
Okay, let me look at it.
Something small and iridescent is barely visible among the indentations. It looks like a scale of some sort.
Oh, well, let me just pick it up.
The scale looks a little delicate to pick up by hand.
Uh-huh.
Gabriel
What about my
carefully
trusty
uses the figure
tweezers?
To take the small iridescent scale.
I think it's a snake scale, but it beats the hell out of me what kind.
I'm perfectly okay with blocky graphics as long as the pixels are evenly sized. I mean, these are evenly sized. Also,
Is that clay?
you never know when you might just need a handful of gunk. Yes, they are evenly sized where they belong. Let's go see Grandma again. Run through any new options.
My precious boy. How wonderful of you to stop by.
Can't stay away from you, Gran.
Make yourself at home, son.
Maybe I should try and tiny inconsequential things are annoying me. You're fine, Dermot. No, I already showed you all that.
Those two are...
No. Might as well.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry.
Of course not. I think I just need questions.
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
No. Snakes.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? What kind of snakes, dear?
I don't know. Local kinds?
Well, we used to get cottonmouths in the park when I was a girl, but I haven't heard of one being sighted for years. Milk snakes and garter snakes are also around these parts, but they can't hurt you.
Thanks, Gran. Do you know any...
I don't know.
Okay, so there's just that.
Do you have any idea what Caprice encore means?
Something.
There we go.
Something, I think. My French is so rusty. I swear my mind is going.
It's okay, thanks.
And we already did shot in here, so okay, so that's... So now we got a hint. Do I know what it means? Of course I know what it means.
Well, Gran,
One, I'm French, and two, I've played this every year for the past, 20 years. Boop. I think I can ask him about Snake Schnow as well.
Hi. Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Snakes!
Do you know anything about snakes?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons and boas. So I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
Yes, but how often do you speak French? Yearly as well. I've known people who grew up from... Now, this game is literally in New Orleans. No, is New Orleans in Louisiana? I don't remember. I don't know the states. I just know the city names and whereabouts they are.
What did you mean?
I didn't say you...
Okay, so nothing new there. Alright. Have you seen this?
Do you recognize this pattern?
Don't look familiar at all, sir.
But not the capital? Really? Oh, that's right. I gotta...
Gabriel opens the manila envelope and finds 2 photographs.
Only yearly? In New Orleans? Not between our... comment has been redacted.
The photograph photograph of Mosley was apparently taken upon his graduation from the police academy. He had hair then.
Ah!
Those two are...
No. Look at it.
One of the photos from Mosley is an official Voodoo Murders crime scene.
Official?
A graphic close-up of a victim. One of the photos...
The heart ripped out.
One of the photos...
Oh, actually.
Those two objects would have no effect.
No?
The murder photo... The partial pattern from the crime scenes intrigues Gabriel. What does it mean?
What does it mean? What if I do this?
Those two objects would have no effect on
Ah. Okay, so, how about you?
Do you know anything about these crosses? I think there's some kind of code.
Looks like a lot of hen tracks to me, man.
Okay, so I did that. What can you tell me about
the voodoo
this?
paraphernalia around the body in the photograph? Are you sure you can't tell me anything about it?
No, I don't know anything about it. Nothing.
Are you sure?
The signs...
Okay,
Lanyap.
That's Lanyap. Asked about that, asked about that, asked about that. Can I ask you about this?
Does this mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that at all.
Okay, so all that, maybe...
To get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it. That doesn't work.
How much was
The
it?
mask. It's a man. There is...
I don't believe she has anything for me today.
Hi. Look around all you want.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, no, I gotta come back here tomorrow for the actual proprietor. Because she's useless in this museum. English speakers in New Orleans call it Nolans or Nola. In French, it's La Nouvelle-Orléans. Something tells me you already figured it out. Yeah, I know. Alright, I'm gonna go see Mosley.
No one goes back there until I say so, mister.
Sorry.
Oh, I gotta talk to him first. Go, is Mosley here?
Got a second, officer? I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's in his office. Go on back.
Why, thank you. Oh, wait, I need to ask you about snakes.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What does this look like? A zoo? Never mind, don't answer that. No, I don't know nothing about no snakes.
Yes, New Orleans is very much French. It's how the southern accent has come to be.
Hey, hey, hey. Knight, come on in.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
There's voodoo that goes on in this city, sure. I looked into it a bit at the beginning of this case. But the voodoo stuff found at the crime scenes is all fake. It doesn't have anything to do with the real stuff. I know. I asked some experts. It's intimidation tactics, that's all.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Lots. Can you be more specific?
Do you know anything about the killers?
At least 20 people attend the killings. We know this from the variety of footprints found at the scenes.
Footprints? Aren't those as good as fingerprints?
Can be, but we'd have to have a suspect in custody first, and the suspect would have to match one of the few distinct prints we have. Most of the footprints are smudged, trodden over, unreadable. These guys are so casual in their expertise, it's maddening.
It's
Like
still
they know
French,
we'll never
Dermot.
find 'em.
How many murders have there been so far?
7 murders have so far been linked to the Voodoo Murders case. Now, the first murder occurred about 8 weeks ago. The MO was the same in each murder. Lake Pontchartrain was the 7th.
Pontchartrain.
What kind of evidence have you found?
No fingerprints, a few bare footprints. Found a few fibers, but not many. The weirdest one was leopard fur.
Leopard fur? Describe the crime scenes.
Now there's the corpse itself, minus the heart. Around where the body was killed, we find marks of flour and blood. There are traces of wax from candles, red and black. Ordinary wax candles, so the lab reports. Also blood and feathers of chickens. Also goat's blood. And plenty of the victim's own, of course.
What's the coroner say?
The victim's heart is always ripped out of the chest and missing. We haven't located a single one of them.
Lovely.
Someone's got a
What
collection.
they do with them?
Don't even want to know. Also, the coroner says some of the victims had heart attacks before the incision. Literally scared to death. The knife wounds are consistent with a long, narrow, wavy-edged knife. Probably a ritualistic dagger.
Any witnesses?
Nope. There's never been a single witness. No one's even heard a disturbance. It's damned weird. Like they just don't want people to see, and so nobody sees nothing.
Know anything about the victims?
The victims are all out of towners. We still don't know why.
Oh, nothing, never mind.
Don't go to New Orleans. You'll get voodoo murdered.
What's the status on the Voodoo Murders case?
It's going. Can't seem to make any progress, though. Sluggish damn case. It's weird.
What's the status?
You're as filled in as me.
How about getting me some coffee?
Coffee? You want coffee?
Should that surprise you?
Nah, you've always been a caffeine addict. It's just that what we got here hardly qualifies.
So, I'm desperate.
It's your stomach. I'll get you some when we're done talking.
That long?
All right, I'll go now.
Oh, right. They're supposed to be like, yes, I can do stuff while he's out.
Don't touch anything while I'm gone.
You can't stop me.
Gabriel would...
Touch everything.
No, really.
Look at that CRT monitor. Oh, hell yeah.
Here, drink it.
The 90s were great.
Thanks. Can I ask you? I got those photographs you left for me.
Yay!
Great. What'd you think?
Astonishingly lifelike.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Got any more ideas for photos for the book?
This is for later.
Nope, I think we have everything we need.
Okay, but you shouldn't underestimate the power of beefcake.
Do you know anything about the patterns
Ah,
around the body?
beefcake. He's never seen beefcake in his life.
Weird, huh? All 7 victims had those little marks around them. We got all the marks on file, but we haven't figured out what, if anything, they mean.
Can I see the other 6 patterns?
Sure. People like that kind of stuff, don't they? Might make the book seem more mysterious. Go talk to Officer Franks. Tell her I said you could see the file.
Yay!
Have you ever called the hair club for men?
I'd rather have no hair than your hair, Knight.
All right. Now it begins. How do we get copies of the 6 patterns?
Can I ask you a few questions, ma'am?
I'm sorry, sir, but I really have to finish these reports.
Boop.
Excuse me, officer.
Yes?
You get a file for
Can
me.
you get a file for me?
What file would that be?
The Voodoo Murders file? Detective Mosley said I could see it.
Really? Well, if he said so. There it is. You can look at it all you want, but don't leave this area with it, okay? And no photocopies either, I'm afraid.
Of course.
I completely understand. Alright,
There's nothing.
there it is.
The police file contains partial patterns from the first 6 voodoo murders.
The first 6. Oop.
Those two objects.
No.
Those two.
So, in order to do this...
I'm done.
Yeah, thanks.
Now...
The control box is in a locked cage and can't be operated.
No, we can't do it yet. Alright, so if that's that... I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow, I believe? I think that's everything for day 1.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Oh boy, party time.
Ah! Grace, I got some extra questions for you.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Snakes.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Doing a family tree, Gabriel?
Very funny. I mean real snakes. You know, scaly, cold-blooded. I would have thought you'd find them empathetic.
Mm-hmm. I know very little about reptiles of any kind and prefer to keep...
How dare you, Dermot?
I think there's a book on snakes around here somewhere, though.
Okay, thanks.
Kablisoka.
Kablisoka means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No. Is that a voodoo word?
I don't think so. It's German.
No, but it has a nice ring, doesn't it? Schottenjäger.
Could you do some research?
I need research!
Sure. What?
Everything.
Could you see what you can find out about a woman named Malia Getty?
The name Getty sounds familiar. What's your interest in her?
Oh, just, you know, stuff about the voodoo murders. If you could get an address...
They're murders. Right. I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well...
Ah, there we go. Finish the day.
It's about closing time.
So it is. Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gabriel. And try not to dream, okay?
You'll get there eventually, Dermot. Bah. And now, the dream. To be fair, if I had this dream every night, I too would be a mess. Each morning. A mask I wore as I approached. I was what I am not, and though the pattern wasn't clear, its meaning could be bought. the video from the ring. Not quite. This predates that as well.
Good morning. Don't you look swell today? Actually, swollen.
Oh.
So have some. There's a fresh pot on the table.
Buddy, what's that?
Seriously, you look like hell. Your hair is sticking straight up like a... Oh, it always does that. Never mind.
Ha ha.
Did you dream
The
about
best.
the fire and the hang guy and that lion thing last night?
Leopard, not lion. Did you get anything on Malia Getty?
Well, I did get her address, but you're a little out of your league here, big fella. The Gettys own 3 local hospitals, just to name a few of their assets. They run in very high circles.
Did you get an address?
I got the address. I suppose this has nothing to do with the fact that Malia Getty is incredibly gorgeous. I should have known you wouldn't go for a rich, ugly socialite.
And that address is...
Hey! Far be it from me to postpone your total humiliation. It's 557 West...
Yay! Humiliation! Yay!
That's a garden district. Estate City.
That's all I wanted to know. And yes, my dear, Malia Getty is the most dangerous-looking diversion I've ever seen. Ouch!
Oy, men.
Newspaper.
Times Picayune, dated June 19, 1993. A front-page article describes the most recent of the voodoo murders. Gabriel scans it but learns not anew.
As usual.
The article reiterates
Ooh,
that
excuse
the
me.
voodoo aspect of the crimes is fake. Gabriel shivers. It looked real enough to him. Elsewhere, there's an article about the history of Jackson Square, called La Plaza d'Armas. Under French rule, it was used for executions, firing squads, hanging, even impalement and breaking on the wheel. Yikes.
Yikes.
Of course, these days, it's mostly a hangout for tourists, street musicians, and local artists. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day.
Oh no!
Chances of a dark star rising on this day. Do not trust your instinct.
I feel a dark star rising, all right.
Horn dog. All right, so let's show
Photo wouldn't have...
show Grace all the evidence we've collected.
Hey, you want to see something really cool?
That's disgusting. That's really horrible.
I know. Great, isn't it?
God, somebody ought to lock you up.
Here's Mosley.
Do you know anything about this?
It's your friend Mosley. Why?
Oh, no reason.
Boop.
Do you know anything?
No.
Boop.
Do you know anything?
No.
No.
Do you know anything?
No.
Help me out, Grace. Okay, there was a snake book, she said.
The books can...
If you try to look down my shirt one more time, I'm leaving.
Hell, just trying to refresh my memory.
I know what you're trying to refresh, and it isn't your memory. Get down.
The books cannot be operated. The books can...
The books cannot be operated.
The history books on that shelf. Gabriel's had all those books in... Gabriel...
No, where's the snake book?
Gabriel...
No, that's the Germans.
Did I avoid again?
Gabriel cannot take that.
Oh, apparently we don't have access to that yet. Yeah, yes, he's a horn dog.
Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Could you do...
Sure. Okay.
No.
Are you sure you don't know what caprice encore means?
I told you, I can't help you with that.
Do you know?
I told you nothing. I hope you don't think this subject is erotic. It's not.
Okay, so nothing for her yet. Or nothing new for her yet.
See you later.
See ya.
Voodoo Museum time!
Welcome, my friend.
Hello, Worf.
I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Nye, and I'll probably take you up on that. Could I ask you some questions?
That is why I am here.
Beautiful.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo? Or the voodoo currently practiced in the city?
Historical?
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But
yes, he is.
African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importing of slaves from that region.
I see they did some ADR.
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
Yay! Revolution!
What happened when West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou Saint John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817,
The zombies!
activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
The real thing.
Historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses.
What's the matter?
But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveau's, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire. When the Widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooans in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans.
Shouldn't that be to Marie Laveau? No, you don't change formal names.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
I've given you as much detail as I can, Mr. Knight. Look around the museum if you desire more information.
What about Marie
Tell me
Laveau?
more about Marie Laveau.
The Widow Paris was a hairdresser for rich Creole ladies. She also paid household servants to spy for her. Between the two, she knew everything about everyone who mattered in New Orleans.
I was being silly.
She was not
Then use
above
more
using
emotes.
her information to appear psychic, to intimidate, or even to blackmail.
You sound as though you admire her.
For a black woman in the mid-1800s to gain power is an incredible thing, Mr. Knight. However, she achieved it.
Not wrong.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
She kept a pet snake, danced with it too. She held traditional voodoo ceremonies out by the lake. She took herself seriously, very seriously. But she was not above selling tickets for her events to curiosity seekers. She was not above using voodoo any way she could to make money. That is for certain. But if she had been in another line of work, in another age, that would have been interpreted as entrepreneurial genius rather than a sign of fraudulence.
Hey!
True.
You don't need to convince me. I admire anyone that can actually make a living.
Make a living.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
It was Marie Laveau who defined the voodoo that is truly and uniquely the voodoo of New Orleans. She invented hundreds, if not thousands of spells, potions, charms, and incantations. These form the basis of the modern practice, not to mention the folk tradition of hoodoo.
Who do you do?
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
Her daughter, Marie Glapion, took over
Glapion?
when Widow Paris got old. Most people thought it was the same Marie Laveau. Both Maries encouraged that point of view. The Widow Paris died in
Makes sense.
1881. Marie Glapion had been reigning a long time by then. After the death of the Widow Paris, other voodoo queens surfaced, and by 1890, the cult was fragmented again. Marie Glapion just sort of faded away.
Aww.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Oh hey, now we know whose tomb that was.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
You have heard everything about Marie Laveau that a layman might expect to understand.
You're calling me stupid.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo, and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in their religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I, personally, am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Intriguing.
Tell me more about current voodoo.
There are many voodooians in New Orleans. They often do business selling gree-gree, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune.
So much
Perhaps
misfortune.
you would like to meet a voodooan. We refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to a local practitioner, Magentia Moonbeam.
Sure, I'd love to meet her.
She lives on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine. I will call her and tell her you might stop by.
Great, thanks.
More people.
What
All right.
can you tell me?
Historical voodoo?
Okay, so that's back to that.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper? I know that they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
Do you now?
What makes you think the voodoo murders aren't being done by local practitioners?
Voodoo is a popular boogeyman, Mr. Knight, especially in New Orleans. Anyone can pretend to use it, just as anyone can pretend to be a black belt in karate, and for the same reason, to intimidate. I know voodoo in this city, Mr. Knight, and believe me, it is not about killing. Even the police have stated that the killings have nothing to do with local voodoo.
So you know nothing about the voodoo murders case?
I neither know nor care to know, Mr. Knight. My only possible interest is in how it might affect the public's attitude towards the museum. So far, it has not been an issue. No one has even had the bad taste to bring it up. Until you, that is.
Oops.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States as far as I am concerned.
What is it about New Orleans that you so admire?
It has a real culture of its own, Mr. Knight, amid the horrid blandness that is Americana. New Orleans alone has a voice.
Spoken like a true New Orleans.
A voice.
Do you have anything else to say about New Orleans?
I have already given you my opinion, Mr. Knight.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Ah, you have perhaps noticed the museum's snake, Mr. Knight.
I have.
They are beautiful creatures, do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Is the snake yours? Do you use it in your practice of voodoo?
I admire the spirit of the snake, Mr. Knight, but snakes like the museums can be quite dangerous to handle.
You didn't really answer my question.
I think I did, Mr. Knight.
A non-answer. Wonderful.
St. John's Eve.
It is one of the important ceremonial nights in voodoo.
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I am afraid I do not know the origins of St. John's Eve. I only know that it was a night of ritual long before voodoo came to New Orleans.
All right.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Gall means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I have not.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, you.
If you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us say that I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you
Ominous.
do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs a symbol. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own
voodoo?
religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
The voodoo.
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight. I do not care for small talk, Mr. Knight. Then.
Did we do hoodoo?
Is there anything else I should know about hoodoo?
Not if your interest is primarily in voodoo. Hoodoo is of interest to those who study rural folk traditions, but it will not aid you in understanding true voodoo.
Is there anything else I should know about hoodoo?
Not if you're interested. Hoodoo.
Okay. Also, big man.
Do these marks look familiar?
They look like the scribbling of a child to me.
Okay, thanks.
Alright, what about the photo?
Could you look at this and tell me if you recognize anything about the ritual?
This is truly offensive. This is from one of those recent killings, is it not?
Well, actually...
But the police already know that this so-called voodoo ritual is fake. Voodoo is a respectable religion. This kind of thing has nothing to do with voodoo in this city.
Fine. Let's say that's true. Are you sure there's nothing about the items in this photo?
There is nothing about this sickness that I would identify as voodoo. Nothing.
Thanks for looking then.
Oh no, I have insulted the large man.
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
No. They look like nonsense to me. Where did you get them, if I might inquire?
I saw them scribbled somewhere. Just graffiti, I guess.
I see. By the way, I forgot to warn you, Mr. Knight. The local cemeteries are quite dangerous.
Oh.
Muggers, vandals. I would avoid going there alone, if I were you.
Ominous.
Thanks for the advice.
Is there anything else?
Does this mean
I cannot.
No. Does this mean anything to you? Usually ends up just being a broken scale.
Perhaps Gabriel should learn more about this.
Fine.
Goodbye, Dr. John.
Walk carefully out there, Mr. Knight.
All right. To the drugstore.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, sweetie.
Bonjour, Monsieur Walker.
Oh, bienvenue, Madame Casino. Comment ça va? How you be feeling today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Walker, I'm certain someone's buried a slip-knot bag somewhere near my steps. I haven't slept a wink in weeks.
Oh, don't that beat all? Well, you're gonna need some easy night candles then.
Do you think that would help? I do hope you're right. I said 3 rosaries this morning for Our Lady's intervention.
Rosaries are good, sure enough. But you burn those candles too and you're gonna whip any old no-sleep gree-gree, I tell you for sure.
Very well, Mr. Walker. Put them on my account and send them round to my house.
The hoodoo.
There's another thing. I didn't catch her at it, but I know Mrs. Lefebvre put stomachache powder in my tea at the last meeting of the Creole Grand Dames. Oh, I've been in misery.
You put 9 pinheads up in a little box, add a pinch of graveyard dust, and put it under her front porch step. That'll turn the trick back on Mrs. Lefebvre, and she'll
Lefebvre.
bellyache. I have the pins and the dust right here if you want them.
If the Blessed Virgin will grant me her protection, I'll be safe from these practitioners of evil.
Evil!
Though it don't hurt to be proactive none either. now, does it?
Naturellement, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Mais non, madame. It is nothing. Au
Gabriel, what are you
revoir.
doing?
Au revoir,
What are
monsieur
you
Walker.
doing? You're being a little butt. God, I love this game. It progresses so nicely.
More questions?
Whatever, man.
Who is this, Madame
That
Casino?
customer of yours, the little old lady,
Customer?
the woman I saw in here, Madame Cazeneuve, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
Good practice.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Marie? She's somebody from the old days. One of those folk tales. Oh, the tourists eat it up, non?
Non.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I've already...
Okay, I asked you about that.
What did you...
I didn't...
Hey, you're still denying that. I think I showed you all that already.
Is the first... The foot...
Look at the voodoo paraphernalia around the...
No!
Okay, no, I already did that. Okay, boop. Off we go. Ooh, Moonbeam. To the Psychic!
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait, Gabriel Knight?
You're too quick for me.
Of course, she gets the big chair.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can...
I'm here to ask you everything.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
I'm sure they
What do you
do.
know about the voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
Gabriel Chevalier. Yeah, pretty much.
What can you tell me about
Except German,
New Orleans?
not French.
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
What? What do you want, you butt? You've already been fed. You ate late. You should not be hungry.
What can you tell me?
It is a fascinating city with many dark secrets.
What can you
It is my favorite place in the world.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Tell me more about snakes.
Oh, I wouldn't want to give away my trade secrets. St.
Oh,
John's
fuck.
Eve, it is the greatest night of the voodoo year. There is always a traditional conclave on St. John's Eve. Most of our voodoo churches these days hold functions in the church hall. But in the old days, they had ceremonies out in the wild, and they wore animal masks and had a huge bonfire.
Ah,
and
there's my clue for
I
the
used to
animal
go
mask.
when I was an apprentice. Sometimes in the swamp, you know. Bayou St. John. Sometimes at the lake. Lake Pontchartrain.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Special ceremonies are performed, and the Loa come to ride the faithful.
More?
What's the significance?
There is no night.
Oh, fuck. No, that wasn't I don't know. There's no night more powerful.
What's the significance?
There is no night more.
Oh no, it is the same.
Do you have any idea what Caprice Saint-Gare means?
No. No, I don't.
Yes, you do! Yes, the fuck you do!
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo...
Gabriel Ritter, correct.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Pontchartrain, yep.
She ruled voodoo in New Orleans for 100 years, they say.
It's Pontchartrain.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
I'm sure a historian could help you with that, if you want to know more.
But I'm asking you.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They're too... close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I don't know what else to say about that.
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Alright, tell me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
Everything.
How'd you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Sounds like bad.
Who's she?
Karma.
You've never heard of her? For shame. I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes.
Yeah, her voice actor is a bit off.
What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
Do you do anything else?
I am a voodoo yen, and that is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
How many voodoo yens are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course the level and the power of the voodoo yens differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
Natural gifts. Mm-hmm.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans. I came here from Kansas as a young woman.
And now I sound like I was born here.
Tell me anything at all.
I began studying voodoo more than 20 years ago. I am well versed in the magical art.
She's white as notebook paper. Yep, she is.
Tell me anything at all.
Many non-believers come to me. They are usually believers when they leave.
Tell me anything at all.
Dr. John sends me many seekers such as yourself.
Yeah, he said, and you know, the troublemakers to you because you've got nothing.
Very well.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Where did you get her?
Where'd you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I don't know what the spirits tell me. Monsieur, I am sure they know better than we.
How'd you learn to handle Grimwald?
I told you a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Ah, fascinating.
Yeah, you know, the person who... Let's see, Marie Laveau, the second one, came into power in 1881. At best, lived maybe 40, 50 years, and then somebody learned from her. So, yeah, that math doesn't add up.
Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scale.
Are you
I told you.
Okay, no, that's the same thing.
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
I won't make you wait, Monsieur Knight. No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
It's time to dance! Yes, yes, keep going over there. Turn away.
Gabriel grabs the shed snake skin while Magenta is otherwise occupied.
Yay! How beautiful that dance was.
Truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it.
Alright, and if I go... Boop. Boop.
Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from Magenta, Moonbeam's snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain.
Obviously. Which is an odd thing, because, like, that snake is obviously green! Make sure you get that.
Magenta.
No. Please look at this murder.
Could you look at this and tell me if you recognize anything about it?
That's from those voodoo murders, isn't it? That has nothing to do with me.
Maybe skin changes colors and oxidizes or something. Maybe, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's a brown skin. It doesn't match the iridescent scale. Like, obviously, it's been shed. You recognize this?
Does this mean anything to you?
These are magic symbols. Deep magic.
Plot hole?
Really?
Yeah,
Have you
probably
seen
somebody
them
not
before?
paying attention.
No.
Then how do you know they're magic symbols?
Seeker, my eyes are unveiled to see truly that which is in front of me.
Thanks. Tons.
They probably animated it green and later went, oh, yeah, oops. Journey why?
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
Ah, the voodoo code.
Hi, Journey.
It is very
You're
secret,
terrible.
yes.
I love you, though.
I
Just like
studied
everyone
with
else.
my mentor, the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Great. Can you tell me what it says?
Let's see. Well, some of it is nonsense, I'm afraid. Whoever wrote this wasn't very good.
That's all right. Just tell me what it says.
It starts with a D and a J, and then... Okay, this part makes sense. It says, conclave tonight, bring... then there's more nonsense. F-W-E-T-K-A-S-H.
Fwet
That
cash.
last bit might mean cash. Fresh cash? It doesn't make much sense.
That's okay, thanks.
Have you got a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle?
DJ Conclave.
It's not that kind of game.
S-H. It's a start.
I'm happy I could help.
Okay, do you recognize any of these pictures?
Does this mean it?
No.
I can be of no help.
If I don't hand it over, it's not a plot point. I think that's everything I need for her. Thank you, you've been very
I guess
helpful.
I'll be gone now.
The only vice is the absence of love.
I've heard that. Bye now.
Okay, I think now I go talk to Grace and get her to look up the book stuff. Or the code stuff.
Hey, Grace. Here I am.
Oh, joy.
Is this how? Or do I have to ask via research?
Do you know anything about the...
No.
Okay, I have to ask via research, I believe.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some
Sure.
I need you to look up a Madame Cazeneuve.
Okay, that one works.
Cazeneuve? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend, Malia Getty, was?
Grace, Cazeneuve's at least 70.
As if that makes a difference to you. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Anything else?
Okay, so I can't ask about the thingy yet.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Wasn't she a big voodoo queen before the Civil War?
That's right.
Well, you just heard everything I know about her.
Librairie de Saint-Georges? Yes. This Gabriel Knight has so much less charisma than Lupin III. I mean, yeah.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I'd really rather not hear about your sex life, Knight.
Ah!
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Okay, and I think that's everything for her. Comparing the womanizing.
I'll be back later.
See ya.
He's got less charisma than Guybrush Threepwood. You know what? True. But he gets better in the sequel. But you know what? You know what we're not going to do?
Hi.
We're not going to mess with Tim Curry's fantastic portrayal.
Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Animal masks.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Like the ones in the voodoo rituals they do for the tourists?
Right.
I used to sell a few as souvenirs. The only one left is Willie Jr. over there. The old crocodile. Well, he's sort of a mascot now, yeah.
This is Tim Curry.
About Willie Jr.
Who you're listening to right now.
Willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
$100? You've got to be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. very close now. I could part with him for less.
His career must have hit a low. No. Tim Curry has been a very prominent voice actor since the 80s. He wasn't always just a movie actor.
Do you know any?
I've already...
Okay, I think I asked you about everything else.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $100.
Okay, so that's that. You don't get Tim Curry to be quiet, subdued character. Space! I mean, you totally could. Is that same or different code?
Gabriel already copied.
Okay, that's the same one.
This is the tomb of Marie Laveau, voodoo queen of New Orleans. Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall.
This was long before the halting voice roles he does more recently. Well, his more recent work is has a completely different style because he had a stroke. In this day and age, back in the 90s, he had a much larger array of voice work. There are a lot of good voice actors who could do that. Yeah. That's Getty, but before that, I need... Ha, there it is. The sequence of events are in place.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
Just impressed he kept acting. Everybody was. I'm very happy he still kept going. Fucking Muppet Treasure Island, that was Tim Curry. Or that's a Tim Curry role. No, Muppet Treasure Island is Tim Curry acting as a Muppet. Nothing new for you as well. Alright, sequence of events. There's the file. I'm gonna pump that all the way up. Don't gotta worry about any of that. So we got two things that we gotta do now.
Detective Mosley. Hard at work, I see.
Also,
Yeah, what is it, you wanker?
Mark Hamill calling someone a wanker.
Whew, it's hot in Dang, the air conditioning must be on the blink.
You just gotta wait.
Are you hot? Man, I'm hot.
There we go.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
Doing his best impression of a Muppet without actually performing one? No, he's literally performing as a Muppet. It is... There are two ways that you can interact with Muppets in TV. One, you are a person interacting with Muppets. Two, you're as crazy as a Muppet themselves. And that's what he is. He embraces it.
Do you know anything about snakes?
The only thing I know about snakes is I don't like them.
I don't like them.
Do you have any idea what...
Hell no. Is that French? My mother spoke it, but I always had hard enough time just speaking English.
True enough.
Like, there are essentially two ways that you can play the Muppets. The Tim Curry way for Muppet Treasure Island, and, oh god, I can't remember the name of the actor. The guy who did Muppet Christmas Carol, which is, I am treating the Muppets as though they are people, versus Tim Curry, I am a Muppet.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? You mean like those Halloween masks they sometimes use in robberies?
I don't think so. More like real animals.
Never ran across anything like that.
Okay, so now we gotta...
How about getting me some coffee?
Ask for coffee.
What am I, your slave?
Hey, I'm working my butt off here.
Yeah, fine.
Can barely recognize Tim Curry. He sounds like about 5 different notable voice actors. Well, yeah, because this is him doing a New Orleans accent.
People are never satisfied.
And this is a murder mystery. And now, I touch all the things. Specifically his badge.
I think I'll just borrow this badge.
Hey, what are you doing with my coat?
Nothing. I thought I saw something crawling on it.
He portrays the role very well. Just like Mark Hamill does with his fantastic voice acting.
Thanks. Tons. I mean it.
Alright, now I gotta ask for the next one.
You're the writer. Ask away.
I got those photos.
Okay. A cop author.
Author photo might be nice.
You and me? Together?
Why not? Of course, you'll have to try to tone down your masculinity.
Well, okay. Now I'll call the police photographer. Franks, come here a minute, would you? Bring your camera.
What did you need, Detective Mosley?
We need a picture, please. And make it a good one, huh, sweetheart?
Sweetheart. Ugh, the 90s.
Sure, sweetheart.
Thank God she called him out on that.
Say, chintzy.
Was there anything else, Knight?
There we go.
Hold on a sec while I go check my hair.
Good God, Knight, make it fast.
I'm just gonna... Let me... take that folder.
Let me see that file again.
And just gonna... make a little copy.
Just want to check this machine here.
Say Gen Z, Gabriel Knight was ahead of the time. Or is this more of a Tim Curry, be as crazy as a Muppet style you mentioned? Yes. I have everything I need.
Would you just get in here?
He looks like he's urinating. Cop, you're good.
Hurry up, would you?
Okay, ready.
But your hair's the same.
Thanks, hon. Let me know when you got it developed. The photo, that is.
Yeah, sure.
She should just slap him. Slap Mark Hamill. Alright, I believe I got everything I need now.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
Have a good one.
And nobody saw anything. These are the best cops in the world. Do I do this part today or later? Now I could. Let's find out. Okay, I think it is today I do that. Up. No. Up. Ah. Okay, not today, I think. Unless he's on that side. Come on. Ah, yes, he is on this side. Oop.
Nice drawing of the cathedral.
Thanks.
It's really precise.
Well, I'm an architectural student, actually. It's good practice.
Okay, now, I don't know if I just wait or if I gotta move around. There it is.
Hey, come back here. Hey!
Oh no, his art! Was this a LucasArts games? No, this is Sierra.
Rotten luck.
And this was also like the first time, like some of the early days of voice acting in video games.
Gabriel can't reach the drawing from where he is.
Oh no, if only I had a small child who could fit through the bars.
You dance pretty well for a kid.
Give me some money, Dan.
I don't have any.
Don't block the view, mister.
Oh god, the jug band in the park. Yep. Back when they called themselves Sierra Online when all their games were off. No, this is literally Sierra. Sierra Online was later. Sierra Online was a division of Sierra. How to bribe a child. First, bribe this man.
I have this gift certificate.
I'm busy.
It's good for $20 at St. George's Books, finest bookstore in New Orleans.
Really? I'll have to check it out sometime.
Was it? I thought it was the main
You can
game
take
name.
this gift
Nope.
certificate with you.
Sierra Entertainment.
Be a lucky dog.
A lucky dog for a $20 gift certificate? Well, sure. Here you go.
I now have a hot dog. Time to bribe a child.
By any chance?
Would I? Thanks, mister.
Wonderful sound effects.
You got any special requests? Let me know.
I need you to get a thing for me.
You mentioned something about special requests.
No, it was online system, then moved to near the Sierra Mountains and renamed itself Sierra Online, then became Sierra Entertainment. I don't think that's right.
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Can I? Just watch me.
Good. There's something in there.
The Sierra Nevada Mountains, those will be the ones.
Come on. Can you reach that piece of paper?
Sure thing. Here you go. Yep. See ya.
Hello, sir. I have your very fancy church picture back
This
for you.
belongs to you, doesn't it?
My drawing. How'd you get it?
Oh, it was a bit of a squeeze, but I hate to see you lose your work. I lost my only copy of a manuscript once.
Well, you saved my butt. Let me know if I can ever do the same for you, huh?
Speaking of...
Say, do you think there's anything you can do with these patterns?
What do you need?
Is there any way you can reconstruct the whole pattern from these partials?
Pattern is probably circular, and there's some repetition in the elements. What is this from, anyway?
You'd never believe me.
Okie dokie. Well, there's... I think there's an area missing. If you could get me any more of these...
I'll see what I can do.
Any more? Like this other one that I sketched myself?
I have another one of those patterns.
Really? Let's see. Yeah, this is great. I think there's enough overlap now. I'll give it my best shot. I'll show you what I come up with tomorrow.
Great. I appreciate it.
Yay! What's a mice elf? Mice elf? Why are you like this? Why? Why are you like this? Why are you like this, Dermot? Okay. I'm the youngest of 5 perpetual little brother syndrome. I think you're perpetual something else right now. Clunk, clunk, clunk.
May I help you?
Oh, hello, other Tim Curry voice.
I'd like to see Malia Getty, please. I'm sorry, but unless you have an appointment or official business, I cannot announce you. I do have official business. Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
Now, that's more of a Tim Curry role. I mean, it is literally Tim Curry just doing a Tim Curry voice at that point.
My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business. Really? Interesting. Wait here. I'll inform Miss Getty. Miss Getty will see you. Right this way. Miss Getty will be down shortly. Thank you.
How does it feel talking to yourself, Tim? Yes, hello. I know you're there. I know you're there. Hello, beautiful.
What can I do for you, Detective?
Well, hello.
The badge would hardly impress that.
Does this mean anything to you?
It got you in to see me, Detective, so it obviously means something to me.
All right. Questions first.
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Miss Getty?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
Beautiful. One thing I want to like push on specifically for this art, that is natural hair. Like, that is natural black woman hair. It is gorgeous. They did research. They did good with this game.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Why would you want to know about that, Detective? It's rather silly, isn't it?
There's nothing silly about the voodoo murders.
But that voodoo is faked. That's what I've read in the papers.
That's what the papers say, all right.
But you're not convinced?
No, frankly, I'm not. The police department isn't known for its imagination.
Oh, well, I can see that your imagination is considerable.
Impersonating a police officer, I mean, all capture bastards, but still, that could get him in a muy trouble. I mean, it's fine, it's the 90s.
What do you know?
We don't need to worry about that.
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I, Detective.
Tell me about your life in New Orleans.
The Getty family came to New Orleans in 1800. We worked very hard to get where we are. On the other hand, we've done a lot for this community.
I can believe that. You're doing a lot for me right now.
Wow.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm afraid I quite abhor them.
Gag. Yep.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I believe it's some sort of local holiday, but I don't know much about it.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Gar means?
No, I don't. What does it mean, Detective?
That's confidential information, ma'am. Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
I have heard of her, of course, but that's about it.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? I don't know what you mean.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with that, Detective.
Just getting shot down every possible way.
I suppose I don't really have a choice. What do you want to know, Detective?
Everything.
What kind of things interest you?
I don't have a lot of free time, but I do appreciate the arts. Opera, symphony, ballet, fine art. If you look around, you'll see that we collect African art, for example.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
It is, Detective. It means a great deal to me.
Do you have a career?
A career? Being the head of the Getty family is a 24-hour-a-day job. We have many holdings and many responsibilities, financial and otherwise. The management of our business affairs and properties leaves me with time for little else.
Poor little rich girl?
Believe it or not, Detective, wealth does have its price.
Tell me about your family.
The Gettys? We're a very private family.
How many people are there in your family?
Well, my mother just passed away.
I am sorry.
So am I. She was a magnificent woman. We were very close. I was an only child.
And your father?
I never knew him.
It's hard to believe that any man would leave a woman like you. Or like your mother must have been.
He did not leave, Detective. But that's really none of your concern.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Yep, slap him.
There are, of
Just
course,
slap him.
other Gettys in the city. I have a large, extended family.
I see.
Do you have a husband and boyfriend? Would you like one?
A boyfriend?
I'm very independent, Detective. The women in my family have always been free.
Wow.
And I never will be.
What about children?
Yes, that is likely. Someday.
Slap him, not me.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I do a lot of charity work around the city, primarily in the prison and reform system. I'm not a professional sociologist, but it does interest me.
That's the closest I could find to slapping him.
As you wish to.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could, but I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake, and I do spend quite a bit of time out there.
Can you tell me?
I wish I could.
Okay, and now we just flirt.
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that. Brownish gold. It's so deep and rich.
Slap him again.
Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
I mean, says you. You never know.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Getty.
Leave
you
now.
must be truly exceptional at your job. I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
There we go.
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Getty.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other man said his name was Mosley.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
Well, I am researching the book.
And I thought you might have seen or heard something at the lake.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
I also want to bang you.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police. I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out.
Tim, I need you to show Tim out.
Robert? Show Mr. Knight out, please.
I most certainly will. Thank you very much. I had a lovely time.
Ah, shit.
It's getting late.
Yeah, we finished day 2.
Decides to return home.
Ah, shit. Ah, that beautiful animation. They don't make them like that anymore. And the dream continues! Oh no, what have I done? Oh, she's burning. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, she's burning. Oh, something's happening. Oh, she's not burning at all! The medallion, it flies! Blood. Oh, that's new. A curved dagger turns into 3 snakes. There's a snake in my neck. Oh no! Gabriel, Gabriel, help me. Gabriel, no, it's Gabriel. Ah! Bing bong. Drawn to Bacchus's abode, I thought ought there to conspire, but it was in the city of the dead that I found my heart's desire. Cheesy sterile 3D renders. Only a couple of those were 3D renders. But this was also like when 3D was not a thing yet.
I'm so glad you could join us.
Like it was just starting to like proliferate.
I also checked out Kazanu. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Those are the ones I mean. Yeah, the best ones. Like it's like when you're watching Reboot. It's fucking fantastic.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Malia Getty, or is it just too embarrassing?
Yes.
Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
Are the stars out tonight?
I mean, the scenes in this game, those few scenes. Yep.
You don't seriously think she's interested? She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet Samurai appeal.
Samurai.
When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right. You should be jealous of Malia Getty. As should
the
every
worst
woman on this planet.
Oh, never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is,
how dare
you
German
into somebody else.
Samurai. Oh no.
Hey kids.
Bruno, how nice.
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Well, better than the used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here. Are you going to sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
How much?
How much would you give me for it, Bruno?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Stay out of this, Grace.
Ooh, you're serious. You'll let me have it?
Yeah, I'll let you have it, all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My fares are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Wow, it's almost we need that exact amount for something, huh?
Fine, it's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
You better take good care of this, Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most.
I felt my
of
stomach
this
turn when he
display,
said,
though
sure,
not
I'll let you have it,
here,
all right.
sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
I don't believe you!
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
She's so angry. Oh, so this is a Final Fantasy game.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Messages?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they're interrogating a suspect this morning and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
More?
More messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours. I took down his number. If you change your mind and want to give him a call back, just ask me for it.
Give me the Ritter number.
For Wolfgang Ritter.
Sure. I'll give it to you when we're done talking.
Ritter means knight. It does. And now you understand why his granddaddy changed his name from Ritter to Knight.
Could you do some research?
Sure. What?
Okay. Nothing yet. Okay. Oh, it's past 4.
Phone number.
Thanks.
That means, oh shit. Oh shit. Up. Up. There we go. Close enough. Ah. That means it's time for us to end for today. Yay. Bah. All right, so we're going to call it there for today. I'm going to shave real quick. 001. Start. Thank you. Alright, so that's where we're going to end it for today. We're going to raid out as we normally do. Who is currently on at the moment? Oh, Mint's on. Oh, Sky's on. I haven't raided Sky in a while. Are you? Oh no, Sky's ending. Damn it. Sky's ending, so we're not gonna raid Sky. We're just gonna raid Min. Because we can. Because Min is amazing and awesome. And I love her. RT Demoness. Boop. Start that raid. Yeah. Alright, and our raid message will be... let's go with... emote? Oh no, I'm changing. I'm transforming before your very eyes. Raid message will just be, default raid message .exe. There you go. Remember to put a space between the dot, so you don't accidentally, you know, hit something from the bot on ban. All right. I will see y'all on Friday. We are going to be continuing on with some Wizard with Gun with Sar, most likely. I'm going to wait for confirmation from him for that tonight, and then we'll see. Next Saturday will be more Final Fantasy XIV. And then finally on next Sunday, we're going to be continuing on with Gabriel Knight. So until then, everybody, remember to follow Twitter, Blue Sky, and Discord for news and updates and such. And until next time, I hope you all have a good week. So until then, take care, have fun, good gaming. Bye now.